What's up, YouTube? Welcome to trainingtheolderadult.com. My name is Robert Linkle. I want to talk to you today about a pretty serious issue, which is our older populations and their ability to fall down and get hurt. This is becoming a greater and greater issue, something that is very near and dear to my heart, as my parents have experienced this and continue to experience this. As early as just 2 days ago, my dad fell in the grocery store parking lot. Big issue that is on the rise. As of 2020, there were 3 million falls on average. This is in the US alone. Out of those 3 million falls, 34,000 older adults, those over 65, died as a result of their falls. Many, over 50%, had an experience and a decrease in their quality of life. Over 50 billion, that's billion with a B, $1 billion is spent annually on medical procedures, medical bills based on these falls. This is a big issue, and we, personal trainers, physical therapists, strength coaches, we are on the front line to help our older adult clientele not fall down and not become part of these statistics. So today, we are going to talk about our favorite fall prevention strategies, favorite fall prevention exercises, and how to implement these with your older populations in hope of keeping them upright, independent, pain-free, and not becoming part of these statistical issues. Join me, enjoy. If you have questions, let me know. Please subscribe. Please ring the bell. This way you won't miss any of the information I put up. I put up at least one video a week for you. I'm trying to do more. I can get the time to do so. But anyway, join us. Here we go. Fall Prevention 101 starts with program design. More importantly is the volumes in which we select in our program design. Now, I am going to show you a couple, 4 or 5 of my favorite exercises that I really think do a great job in helping our clients become stronger, more powerful, and more responsive to their inability to fall down. But the programming, the volume, the tempo, the load, all of that has a lot to do with this. So stick with me, okay? 2 things that we need to not fall down. We need to be powerful, reactive, right? We need our body to basically move quickly when we call upon it. And then the second is we need to be strong enough that when we do move that quick, that we can maintain stability upon impact. Meaning that if I catch my foot on a curb or I stub my toe on something, I can throw my foot out and rescue that fall. I can get the foot into the right position. I throw it out far enough to stop me, not to just accelerate my fall, but also when I get it there, I'm strong enough, my bones are dense enough, my muscles are engaged enough to stop me and push me back and stop my momentum from that downward spiral or that downward fall. So if you think about that, in terms of lifting tempos, I like a combo of 2 things. Power tempo for the first half of our set, followed by eccentric tempos for the second. So let's say we're doing a pivot point row, which is going to be one of the exercises I want to show you. I want to utilize a power-based tempo to start, which means I'm going to move this weight as quickly as I can on the concentric, the row in, and I'm going to have a good control on the way out. And I'm going to do that for 6 reps of this first set. The second half, because now that I'm taxing my oxidative system, how fast I can burn and get my muscle to engage and be powerful, now that I've kind of exhausted that in those first 6 reps, now I'm going to go to a eccentric tempo where I'm going to row in and let the weight out really, really slow. Okay, so here we go. Pivot point row. Again, I'll break this down in just a moment. I'm going to start off with a quick pull control, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, eccentric tempo. Row in, slow, 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 slow. Row in, slow, 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 slow. And I'll do that for 6 reps. So I'm going to maximize my power output in the first 6, maybe 8 reps. And then I'm going to conclude that set with an eccentric tempo, really working on my strength, lowering the weight, controlling the weight, because I've already exhausted my ability to move as quick as I can. This is the best of both worlds, okay? We are taking research that shows we can be more powerful by moving a lighter amount of weight really quickly, But knowing that we can only do that for so many reps to actually maximize power, eventually, if I just keep moving away on that, it's gonna get slower. It's not so powerful. It's gonna transition into strength and or muscular endurance. So knowing that, instead of stopping and only focusing on power, I wanna get my power component and then take the second half and focus on my strength. The best of both worlds, 2 birds, 1 stone, or however that saying goes. Want to make sure that I'm working this in on a regular basis with these specific lifts. So let's get into those now that we know what kind of tempo we're going to lift. Exercise number 1, pivot point row. Now, you can use multiple different pieces of equipment for this. If you have plate loaded, if you have selectorized machines, you can use other stuff for this, okay? But basically what we're trying to do is create a free range of motion, like a free weight kind of action, that's gonna work along a pivot, but still require a lot of control out of me. So it's semi-fixed, but also independent, meaning that I need to control this. It can still pivot, it can wobble, it can slam, where on like a selectorized machine, I'm basically just stuck pushing or pulling or pressing or right? I wanna find kind of a happy medium. So I have my Swiss bar. It's hanging from my Rogue competition straps. These are heavy duty straps. I've got some weight on there. I also have some bands anchored from down below to give me some accommodating or progressive resistance, meaning that as I row it in, it's gonna get harder. As I let it out, it's gonna get lighter, or easier. We have multiple different grips depending on the width, the shoulder width of the client. Grab where they are comfortable, narrow, wide, wherever you want. And our key to this, as we talked about just a minute ago, is that we're gonna do 6 to 8 reps, pulling in as quick as we can, controlling with tempo, but still moving fairly quickly. And then we're gonna do the second half of our set with that eccentric control. I'm gonna do a full set on here to show this for you so you can see exactly what it is we're looking for. I'll be working through some cues here as we go. Good neutral grip position, wherever we want to hang on. I'm going to get into a counter and I'm going to start with some tension, okay? There is a good 15 degrees or so where you need to kind of counter into the handle to make sure your tension is engaged, the slack is basically taken. When I'm ready to go, I'm going to start with shoulder blade retraction. I really want to make sure my shoulder blades are doing that retractive action to neutral. Then I'm going to pull my elbows back as far as I can and then finish with a little bit of bicep to bring the bar all the way to my chest. Okay, here we go, and begin. Pull quick, slow, 2, 3, countering tight, elbows back, 6, 7, and now I'm starting my eccentric, slow, big pull, slow, core tight, chin is neutral, 3 to 4 seconds, as much as I can muster. Really suffer here, we call this suffering good, where I'm engaging, holding, squeezing, and really trying to burn out that musculature. Oh man, that's a good set. Okay, make sure I'm holding that good counter position. I get my power piece, my strength piece, and it's all posterior chain. Big focus on the back side of the body. It's gonna help me, my posture, keeping me upright, keeping my core and my posture strong. So when I have to move in any multiple directions, I have to move quickly, I've got the structural strength to keep me upright. Exercise number 2, pivot point chest press. Now, this is probably my favorite horizontal push for my clients. Ultimately, bench press with dumbbells and or fat bells is probably a better, more efficient movement pattern, but if we can't quite get our clients to that one yet, this is a great alternative. I basically have the exact same setup that I just used for my pivot point row. I'm just gonna flip around to the other side. Now, I know everybody at home, most of you don't have 14-inch racks like I do here, this short little monster rack where I can counter in the seated position. You guys can do this exact same thing in a regular squat rack, just do it standing. You just stand with split feet and punch. They used to have a machine called a jammer that did basically this exact same thing, okay? If you do have a short rack, this counter position seated, great core work, takes away a lot of the pressure through the hips and the back. Your clients might have limitations there, should find this pretty comfortable. If your clients are smaller, you can always grab a physio pad, one of the little AirX pads, and put that behind them here, and that will move them forward and give a little soft cushion there. To the tush, I've got plenty of butt, so got no problem sitting into this one. So I'm in a little counter, okay, a slight little counter. It's like a 1/8 of a wall sit, right? Just enough where I can feel my legs are on. Got my neutral grip and just same tempos we've been working. I'm gonna do 6 fast, powerful, explosive punches and then 6 eccentric controls, okay? Retracting my shoulders to neutral, holding my elbows in tight, wrists are straight, chin is neutral, taking in my breath. Punch and return, as quick as I can. I change direction, now eccentric. Control, slow, 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 steady, slow, slow, slow. Working through the best range of motion, my core. A lot of work here to help support this eccentric. My chest, my triceps are just lighting up, okay? And working through this good controlled range. Now, you can hear both of these as I'm doing this. I definitely get a little cardiovascular component from this. We do get little spikes, and pending how you're moving through the workout, what we call laundry list style, going down the list, right? Working different muscle groups, different angles, maybe 15 to 20 seconds in between. Gives you a little recovery, but you're still getting a true strength and conditioning component here built in while working your power and your strength and stability. Exercise number 3 is the Tbell or Kettlebell deadlift. Now, I like to add a progressive lift to this as well, an accommodating resistance component, if you will, via some bands. That's gonna make my client work a little bit harder on the second half of the lift. Not so much the first part of the lift, okay? The second half of the lift. When I know they're getting into a position where they're a little stronger, where the momentum has gained in their favor, and they can carry that momentum into that additional load and help them with their lockout strength. So that's why, number one, I love this Tbell. I love the handles that come with it because it gives you some alternative options on how you could rig some things up here. So I'm gonna show you using a orange band here. I'll also show you with a kettlebell, a couple different ways you can do it. Some a little easier than others, give you immediate tension, others give you a little more slack. Again, I'll show you as we go through. All right, so this first part here, I'm gonna take the orange band and I've put it through the arch of my foot. Always the arch of your foot. Make sure the band is not gonna roll off, pop off in the middle of the lift. So I'm securing it. I know I'm gonna stay heavy there the whole time. I'm gonna take the entire band through the handle on the bottom, okay? Through the handle. I'm gonna get some tension. I'm gonna take it through the other handle down and then carry that loop under the other foot. So now I'm pretty well centered up, but notice the slack, okay? There's a lot of slack in there. I don't want it tight now. I want it tight on the second half of the lift. As we talked about, tempo-wise, I'm coming up as quick as I can. I'm gonna come down steady, 6 reps, and then I'll start my eccentric tempos. Nice deep breath, lock in here tight, shoulders pulled back to neutral, chin is down. I'm driving the top of my head up while pushing my heels down and pushing my butt back. I call it working the triangles. Down, back with the hips, up with the head. If I lock all 3 of those in real nice and tight, everything should be secured. Up quick, steady, touch, up quick, steady, touch, up quick. Shoulders tight, chin tight, everything compact, pushing down hard as fast as I can on the up. And now I start my eccentrics. Steady, slow, 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 touch, up, steady, slow, okay? Starting to get tired, so you really work on that slow, steady, eccentric burn. Controls, don't lose the shoulders. Keep the arms tight. Last one coming up. And relax, okay? It's a gasser. Good full set, very explosive to start, very muscular at the end. When I'm done, I can just kind of step out, leave it set up for the next round, or if I'm using a different implement, okay? Kettlebell of choice. First one with slack. Turn the kettlebell neutral. Do the exact same thing that we just did. 1 foot in the loop, through the handle, through the other foot. Now, from here, I'm gonna do a hand over hand grip. My left hand goes on first, right hand will go over the top of that, okay? So I'm doing kind of a cradled grip. Most kettlebells and most of us, the handle isn't big enough and our hands are too big to stack like a baseball bat or a golf swing grip. So you have to overlap your hands. If you have kettlebells that are big enough where you can do that, I encourage you to do that. You just want to switch with every set or switch halfway through, just so you're working. Whichever hand is probably closer to you is going to get a little bit more of the grip work, a little bit more of the strength work, okay? So again, as we set up before, I want slack in the band when I start. Get nice and deep into my deadlift, hand over hand, pull everything back. As I come up, it'll get tighter the second half of the lift as I come up, and I can retract from there. That gives me good slack in the beginning and more tension towards the later half. Now, if I want it tighter right from the get-go, there's another way to rig this up, and you can use your pronated grip instead of the hand over hand, okay? Lasso the whole thing, grab the band from the far end, pull through, line it up with the band on the other side. Okay, I'll show you a side view of this as well. A little bit easier to see from here. We lasso. Notice I leave this kind of flat, okay? Pull through and just line it up with the other end. Now I'm gonna leave these guys stacked, so when I step on them, they're right in the middle, the arch of my foot, okay? A little pickup, I can separate, and now I'm tethered in here. I'm tied in, nice deep squat. I get pretty much tension right away as I'm going here to work through. You can just kind of let your feet out of here, nice and easy, and leave that semi-set up for your next set. T-bells, kettlebells, whatever it is that you want to deadlift, this is a great tempo and a great way to add a band to it to make you work a little harder on the second half. Exercise number 4, band-assisted drop step lunges. The anchor point, very important, has to be anchored up high and in front of the client, not at hip height and definitely not low. I want the band to counter where I'm going to be dropping my weight to as the lifter. So I'm going to get my grip either on some handles, on the band itself, whatever you want to hang on to. And our goal here for our first 6 reps is to have our client, once we've done this a few times and they have a feel for it, we want them to drop step into the lunge quickly, come up out of control, under control, drop step quickly, under control. And we're gonna knock out 6 reps where they really get used to throwing that foot back there and dropping down under control, but the band is there to assist them, to help them come out of that low position, to help them with balance, to assist them in the deep lunge position that maybe they struggle to get out of, or maybe they struggle to lower into quickly. The band is taking away my weight. I'm 240, this band's about 80 pounds or so if it's doubled. So let's say it's giving me about 40 pounds, okay, of assistance. By the time I'm here, I'm about 200 pounds that I have to change direction to. It lightens me and it assists me all at the same time. So after I get those 6, now I'm gonna go to my eccentrics. So I'm gonna go slower, 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 and up under control. Why do I keep saying that? Out of control, really, really slow. The best range of motion. Maybe I need more help. I can back up a little bit and get more band to help me while I eccentrically suffer, suffer, suffer. Arms are staying tight. My shoulders are retracted. I'm working on the length, right? Then I'm throwing my foot back there. I can go a little deeper, a little longer, whatever my little heart desires. I want to practice lowering my center of mass, throwing a foot back behind me, and throwing that foot back pretty far. Now, what if your clients can't do lunges? You can do this as a simple gate step, which what means is that I'm going to hold tension and just throw my foot back. I don't even have to go up and down. I can just practice the displacement. And notice how I kind of pull in tight to assist. Okay, as I throw my foot back there, I'm just practicing dropping my center, throwing my foot back. I'm practicing rescuing a fall. Okay, as I get better and as we start to work on our split squat strength, I have another video that's called How to Get Up Off the Floor. Part 1, Part 2, I teach you step by step how to do split squats, single leg squats, half kneeling windmills, get ups, all of this. It teaches you how to build your client's ability to get up and down off the ground via performing really good split squats. So if you struggle here, go watch those videos and they will definitely help you in connecting the bridges in between those two movement patterns. Exercise number 5 is called a kickstand touchdown. Now, I like to use these plates. They're nice and long. They have handles built in. You can get these from Rogue. You can get them from Go Ruck. I've got a bunch of different ones ranging from 7.5 pounds up to 30 pounds. So you can use whatever's comfortable here, a light kettlebell, a dumbbell vertically where you're hanging on to the rubber part or the end of the dumbbell. Totally up to you. What we need though is a weight that the client can hinge and contact to the ground to work this range of motion, but to create stability for a moment and then return. A lot of our falls will come from attempts to get something off the ground or maneuver about something on the ground. So what we want to practice is standing tall, weight in hand, the same hand that I'm holding, my left hand, that foot is going to drop step into a kickstand. I'm going to hinge until the weight touches the floor, and then I'm going to return to the standing position. Drop step, hinge, touch the floor, return. Now, what part do I do fast on this? Just the drop step. Drop step. Now, eccentric, slow, touch, and I can return. Drop step. Hinge, touch, unload, return, okay? We can practice these quick components, but the hinging mechanics and the coming up, those are the parts that I want to do slow, mechanically, under control, okay? And I can practice my fast actions at the beginning, drop step, and then bringing my foot back. When we practice a kickstand, if you just set your foot, hinge, return, we're not practicing the replacement, the recognition of the movement pattern over and over again of dropping the foot, hinging, deloading the weight, literally putting the weight down on the floor, unloading it, returning it to the standing position, and then bringing that foot back in. As you get better at this, you can start to 3-step it. What I mean by that is drop step, hinge, touch, 1, 2, 3. I'd have a weight in my other hand. Hinge, touch, 1, 2, 3. Hinge, touch. Okay, I can continue to work this pattern where I'm moving about, okay, through space, and I can practice my pickups, my drop steps, my hinge mechanics as if I'm moving about in my day-to-day. They're my shoes. I'm gonna kickstand, pick those up proper, and carry on to go get ready, do whatever else I'm doing, picking up stuff in the yard, getting the groceries out of the car, I drop my keys, whatever it might be. We're purposely practicing these movements in-house here in hopes that it transfers out there to real life action, real life movements, and we got to drill this into our clients' heads. This is why you're doing this. I need to envision, these are your keys, these are your shoes, this is your grocery list, whatever it is that you dropped that we are now picking up, okay? Practice these with purpose. People will remember them and they will do them correctly. All right, gang, that's a wrap from TOA headquarters here. Those are our top 5 exercises and our training strategy via our tempo and our lifting volumes on how we like to work on producing our clients' ability to increase their power and their abilities to increase their stability, to practice moving forward and back to start, but knowing that a great number, if not the majority of our falls are going to occur backwards or to the side. We are eventually going to have to start putting in some lateral movement components, but we have to start somewhere first. We will get a part 2 of these where we'll start to move into multiple directions and get our clients moving really well. But for the start, I want to get them moving quickly, building strength eccentrically, properly picking things up off the ground, and hinging mechanics to the ground. All of this will greatly assist them in their abilities to practice these movements out in real life. Remember, connect every movement to real life situations. Your clients will remember them and they will practice them when needed. Now, if you guys get a chance, head over to our YouTube page. We just passed 1,000 subscribers. We want to keep growing this page. Please help me out with that. It's my name, Robert Linkle. You'll see all of our information on here. I've got 200 and something videos on here, all about training the older adult, injuries, limitations, business practices, anything and everything that you need. It is all up here. Please check that out. Also head over to trainingtheolderadult.com. See our certifications, our TOA Select. TOA Select is one of the coolest things that we have ever done. This has been a lifelong dream of mine to put together a library of exercises, of content. We have 200 exercises and growing, 200 mobilities and growing, our movement prep, our cool downs, our warm-ups, our limitations for hip and back and shoulders and knees. We have so much stuff libraried there. Our movement observation, how we do our assessments, and hundreds, literally hundreds of hours of my content that I've done in presentations week after week after week over the last 2 years, and throughout archived presentations of my entire career as a presenter. Please head over there, check out TOA Select for $79 a month. You get access to all that for $99 a month. You get access to all that and CEUs, 20 CEUs for the year. It's a great, great, great tool. If this is your demographic, I don't think you can live without this, guys. So head over there and check it out. Shameless plug. Hope you like it. Please subscribe. Please ring the bell. Don't miss any of our content that we put out. I appreciate you so much. I'm Robert Linkle, coming to you live from trainingtheolderadult.com headquarters. Thank you, everybody. We love you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Take care, and as always, movement is life.